How's it going, guys? Untamed Gaming here. Glad to see you guys stopped by to check out the content. In today's video, I'll be sharing you guys a little story, like kind of like a weird, spooky, scary story or whatever that involved with my brother. So, towards the end of December, my brother and we went down to Las Vegas, and it was our first time, so we decided to, check out everything from Fremont to the Strip. We went to go see a Vegas Golden Knights hockey game, so that was fun. But there was one thing that really was pretty much the talk about the entire trip was the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum place that we went to. So we arrived on a Friday, and we decided to do the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum on Saturday. So we decided to do that, and we decided to do that in the morning, so it wasn't really a night thing, so the whole spooky aspect of the whole thing wasn't there. But it was a place to go see, and we were kind of excited to go there. So we were staying in the Sahara, and Zak Bagans Haunted Museum was just about, I'd say just about 5, maybe 7 blocks away from the Sahara. And so we decided to not take an Uber, but to walk. So we decided to walk, and it probably took us about, I'd say about 30 to 45 minutes to walk there. We just actually discovered that the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum is also located by the pawn shop. The Pawn Stars TV show, that shop is also by there. So we decided to visit the pawn shop, and the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum wasn't supposed to open until like an hour. So we decided just to kill a little time and go check out the pawn shop. And I had to say it was pretty, it looked smaller in person. And then we talked to some people who are familiar with the shop, and we were all kind of guessing that they kind of used a different area to film their shows and use this to promote their store or whatnot. But that's not the case of this video. So after the pawn shop, we decided to head towards the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum, and it was myself, my brother, and I think it was like 2 couples. One was from Manitoba, Canada. They lived by Winnipeg, and I think one of them was like a preschool teacher at Winnipeg. And we were from Minnesota, so it kind of felt like we were like talking to neighbors. So my brother was talking about his schooling as a teacher, so they did their teacher thing, and we were waiting to get inside. So it was about 9:30-ish is when the gates start opening. So if you've seen photographs of the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum, it is like a house, and it's protected by an iron gate, and the gate cannot open unless someone comes out and opens it. The only ones who can go in there are the employees and the tour guides and whatnot. So we go in, and we get into the booth, and the person hands out the disclaimer, their little permission, or saying we are not responsible if this happens to you, if you get possessed, scratched, beaten, or whatever. So they don't get any sued. That's why you sign the contract or whatever, the document. And to get in, it was about $40 per person. So I'd say it was worth it, and my reasons why. So there was a lot of people that showed up right when the place opened up. So it was the 5 of us. I think there was another person, but I think there was 5 of us, and then there was another 6, 7 people that showed up, and we became a group of 12. And I'm pretty sure that's the max tour capacity for these tour guides, was to do only 12 people max. So we go into this was the front room is where you go up and actually buy your ticket. I still have the ticket with me right now, sitting on the ledge. And and that was another $20. So it's pretty spendy, but you get what you paid for, you know. So we get our ticket, and then it was our last, chance to go to the bathroom. So we did that, and our group had to face this board, and we had to take an oath, saying that this place is haunted, and we are not the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum is not responsible for anything that happens to you while on the tour. So the oath was complete, and then we actually go back outside to go around to the actual front door, which is located on the side of the house. And when we first get into there, okay, let me just say this right now. Photography and video, is not allowed. You cannot take video or photos. Coming from someone who says that this place is like haunted, I feel like you would have to, have people come in to video, just, see if they actually catch something. But I guess, with all the exhibits and stories like that, they don't want to get that leaked out there, the whole thing. Because when you go in, it's like, then you just pretty much already know what's going to happen. So I see that's why that is. But so the point of the story is that it's one of those things where you either believe in it or you don't believe in it. And I didn't see anything when I was there, as far as I know. No whispering in ears, not getting touched, not seeing any apparitions of any ghosts or whatnot. But when we went into the Ed Gein exhibit, and it's kind of a fun story. The tour guide says that the exhibit for Ed Gein, if you guys don't know who Ed Gein is pretty much the reason why we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies out right now. The movie was based onto Ed Gein's story. And Ed Gein was pretty much like he was like a mama's boy, quote unquote, and he kidnapped and killed and, turned their skin into furniture and whatnot. I shouldn't laugh there, but, that's pretty much what he did. And the exhibit, when we went in there, the exhibit was actually, it was constructed by the same crew that made the American Horror Story, stage sets, So it was pretty well done, well done. And obviously, this Zak Bagans Haunted Museum is pretty unique because it actually has the actual artifacts or objects from what the killer possessed or whatever someone had. They had it. So the main thing was the shovel that Ed Gein used to dig up his mom and whatnot. And there was also a kettle that was used in a Ghost Adventures special where there was an actual witch, quote unquote, that came into the investigation and did a blood ritual, and what was inside the kettle was still blood from that same ritual. So it was pretty intense. And this is the room where my brother got scratched in his arm. I'm sorry it took you about 8 minutes and a half to get to this point. And my brother took a picture of this scratch. And when we left, it was like when we were talking about the kettle, he started feeling a burning sensation in his arm. He didn't really think much of it until we exited the room. And there was another person who said that they felt, someone touched their thigh. Ed Gein, I guess, had a thing for women. So I'm not sure where my brother falls into that. But so there was a lot of activity in that room. And my brother, was paying the whole his time with looking at his arm and seeing what would happen. Then he finally realized that he had a scratch on his arm. Now, if you guys have been scratched before, it is pretty there's a mark there. But probably next time you take a shower or you wash it, it'll just go away, the scratch. Probably you'll see a little blood marker there or whatever. But my brother, when we got done with the whole museum, that mark was still there. After many times of washing or whatever he was doing, that mark was still there. I even asked him on the phone just yesterday, do you still have the scratch on your arm? And he said, yeah, I still had the scratch on my arm. And so he took a picture and he sent it to me. I'll show it to you guys right now. It's pretty hard to see, but I'll make it easier for you guys to see it. So not only did my brother get scratched once, he got scratched twice. And I think he told me that the first mark was there, and then there was another forming right to the left of it. And the first mark is pretty visible, and I'll help you guys with the image. But there's also another one to the left, and that's pretty hard to see, but I'll try to help you guys out with those. So it was, my brother was like, that was pretty much the talk of the entire time for that day, was that he got scratched by a ghost. Now, this is actually the first time, or I guess I should say this is like our second time going to a quote-unquote haunted place. The first haunted place was in Duluth, Minnesota. Then that was like a mansion that we also took a tour there. But this was like next level to us. So my brother actually got interacted with in a haunted environment. And I guess it's one of those things in which, like, oh man, he got scratched. Man, I want to get scratched. Why not me? You know, you feel like you want to get involved into the whole thing. And that's kind of an interesting thing about the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum, is that if something happens to you, the tour guide will go to you and ask you what happened and, you know, what was going on with you. And then they'll record it to a person who's standing by. I'm guessing he's like the person that writes down the things that would happen. And they would use your story into the other stories for other tours, other tourists coming by and saying that, yeah, the guy in this Ed Gein room got scratched just a couple hours ago, so this place might be active. So that's kind of a cool thing, but yet it's kind of like a creepy thing. And another thing that also happened with our tour group, the people that we were with in the morning before the place opened up, the guys from Manitoba, Canada, the guy over there was pretty much like happy-go-lucky. You know, he was just all up, positive. And when we went to, I forgot what the exhibit is, but it's right next to the Demon House exhibit, like down the hall. So we were in this exhibit. It was about a ghost hunter who was possessed, and she was trying to record everything that was going on. And, you know, something pretty much bad happened to her. She died. So I was by the guy, and I was sitting closer. You know, he was by the door. I was shoulder to shoulder with him, and I was listening to what the tour guide was saying about the exhibit. And he says that he turned and looked right towards the Demon House exhibit, and he said he's seen a little thing that looked like a dress move from the lobby into the Demon House exhibit, which is kind of strange because Zak Bagans has a Demon House movie thing, a documentary about the house that he bought and then demolished. You guys want to check that out? It's on YouTube. You guys can watch that. It's pretty intense. So he saw that thing, and his mood just totally went upside down. He was happy-go-lucky, but after he saw that, he was literally freaking out. Like, he was quiet. He didn't want to say a single thing. He didn't even want to talk to the tour guide about it. So, and also another thing with these exhibits is that the tour guide will actually ask you if you want to do certain tasks in the museum. Now, I know there's videos about this museum of what people can do, like there's a haunted mirror about a guy who was in the occult, and he was doing scribing in the mirror. It was the guy who played Dracula. I forgot his name, but I apologize. But you go up to the mirror, and then you look into it for about 10 seconds. And if something doesn't happen to you, then something doesn't happen to you. But if something does, then I guess you're a part of the story now. I did all the things that the tour guide asked me to do. I didn't feel anything. I didn't see anything that I know of. Maybe there was something that I just didn't catch. Now, for the price of this museum that you're entering, is it worth the $40? Yes, it's at least $60 because it's like $40 to go in, but it's another $20 to, I think it was like $10 for the ticket, or it's like, but is it worth it? Yes, I would actually go back there again, just because I said I done it, but just to go back there and say, okay, I'm gonna see what happens to me now, because My brother pretty much got, he the spotlight was on him the entire time. Let's put it that, and our entire tour guide, except for the guy who just didn't want to talk about the thing that he saw. That place is actually known in that part of the museum. There was actually it was actually pretty known to witness a little girl in white walking around the museum. So I kind of told the tour guide maybe that was the little girl, because he did say it was like a white dress looking thing. So put two and two together, then So I decided to bring this up now. I should have this before, when I got back from Las Vegas, but I didn't really think about making a video at the time because I don't know. I just didn't really feel like doing it until now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have been in the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, Nevada, tell me about your experience. I told you guys about my experience, and it was pretty crazy. And usually, something happens to you, like a ghost scratching you. There was something usually that happens afterwards, like if you're sleeping, you might get a nightmare. But my brother really didn't get anything as much as he told me. So that scratch is still on his arm currently right now, and I'm just wondering what's gonna happen. Is that scratch gonna be like permanent, whatever? So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this little story of me visiting the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum, and I'll see you guys on the next video we'll ever make. Stay awesome, keep it cool out there.